Hey y'all, Milton Lawrence here from truthofsuccess.com, and the purpose for this video, I'll call this video "Good News and Bad News." You figure out which side of the news that you're on. As of November the 3rd, CNN Money reported that the federal government, specifically the Federal Reserve, announced QE2, and all that basically means is QE stands for quantitative easing. Many of you guys know back in 2008 going into 2009, essentially they were going, going into 2010, it was either 09 or 10, there was a huge stimulus package that was passed. Right after that, they did a huge they did what's called QE1, and what that basically was, they had estimated it was going to be right at about $600 billion they were going to insert into the economy to help stimulate the economy, to stimulate the spending in the United States. And now they just announced QE2, which they're going to insert an additional $900 billion over a nine-month period up until third quarter of 2011. What does that mean for the average individual, and what does that mean for good news and bad news? Well, from a good news standpoint, if you're an investor and you're wholesaling properties and you're using Marcel Humphrey's Flop2flip Nation Flop2flip wholesaling e-manual to wholesale properties, that's huge, because what that means is any properties that you purchase will be able to return very high returns on investment. There's one other piece of news that I forgot to insert in there, and I kind of forgot it, but this is probably what really motivated me to put this video out. I think yesterday the federal government, our government, also mentioned that they're not going to be extending, and if you guys may hear my daughter singing upstairs, it's her time, so you got to excuse me for that, but it is what it is. They basically said that they're not going to be extending unemployment insurance. Now, again, good news and bad news. How do I apply this? If I'm a wholesaler, that's exciting news, because what that basically means is investors that were in trouble, they're really in trouble from many standpoints. One being that if they have tenants and those tenants were on unemployment, they may, up until maybe the next week or two, they may or may not be able to pay their rent come January 1. So that's the good news. Here's the bad news. If you're an ordinary individual and you're deeply in debt, meaning bad debt, you could quite possibly be in trouble. And what that basically means is this: combined with quantitative easing, and what that basically means is they're devaluing our dollar. What that means is it's going to take more of our dollars to be able to buy more stuff. And I apologize that it took me so long to get to the point, but that's essentially what that means. And over the last 6 to 12 months, most of the grocery stores have seen a hike in their prices. We've seen a little bit of the hike, but they really have not passed on the price hikes for typical commodities onto the ordinary individual. What that basically means is, if you're used to spending a couple $100 for groceries, that same purchase will cost you anywhere between $250 to maybe $300 for that same purchase. And all that basically means, if you're an ordinary individual, just like me, is that it's going to cost more to be able to feed your family. And so, good news and bad news. As this stuff develops, I'm going to try to take it and bring it to you from an investment standpoint, from an investor standpoint. This is the reason why I chose to get out of bad debt, because the last place you're going to want to be is in bad debt when they continue to devalue the dollar bill, which will turn into what we call hyperinflation. And all that basically means is, if you can remember back in the early 20s, mid 20s, going into the 30s, there was a huge recession. And so there's a lot of funny business going on. I highly recommend, I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do, but all I know is I'm getting out of debt. I suggest anybody that's in bad debt to get out of debt, make it a priority. And it's some funny stuff going on, guys, and I just wanted to share it with you. So anyway, good news and bad news. Bad news, if you're on unemployment insurance, I pray to God that something comes through for you, you're able to get a job somewhere. That's the bad news. The good news is, if you're an investor, this is the best time in the world to be wholesaling properties, because our customer, our end user, more and more of them are going to be looking to liquidate properties, and even homeowners that weren't in a bad situation may turn around and be in a bad situation when it comes down to them having to feed their families, and they have to make a decision as to whether to pay the rent or to put food on the table. And I believe that day is coming in 2011. So mark my word, mark this date, December the 2nd, 2010, that you heard me say it. It's coming down the pike. We're so busy watching TV and doing things that and not paying attention to what's going on. Don't let this creep up on you. Get ready for it. Get motivated. Get out there and do what needs to be done for you and your family, because it's not going to be some pretty days in the days to come. So anyway, I'm signing off. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them to me. I'm also going to put a link right below this video that I think is going to be extremely impactful. It's from the NIA, which is the National Association for Inflation, or something like that. They created a video that I think was extremely impactful, that will really predict, really display what could possibly happen in the next 18 to 24 months, in my humble but accurate opinion. So anyway, just bringing it to you guys. I want to bring you some value. Yes, real estate is important, but our families are even more important, and making sure that we're prepared for this storm, because it's coming. All right, talk to you soon.